Is there any chance we see an Aghanim Scepter on Centaur this game?
Don't.
Can't the Leshrac?
I want to say, how is he going to afford it? But
it's Puppy.
I guess it's Puppy. It is Puppy.
He's pretty greedy as fives go.
He is very greedy as fives go. Don't have to sugarcoat it. He loves hitting creeps.
I'm really curious. I mean, this is a best of one for your TI life survival. You know, a win here guarantees you last chance qualifier status. And another chance to go towards that grand final for a direct invite to TI. That's best of 3 all tied up as we head into the final match. Secret against ITB. And both teams smoked across the river, getting some early wards down.
Okay, well, let's look at how these lanes are going to go. We have a carry Monkey King into a Venomancer. I guess if we used our brains for more than 1 second, this last pick would have been very... I mean, to be fair, we didn't discuss it much. But there, this last pick, Veno, ooh-wee, man, that is going to be quite rough for the Monkey King. There's definitely a chance to kind of turn it around just because Veno is quite weak when jumped upon. But I feel like him and Ari are going to be able to sort of trade. What did Ari buy as items? He went a Wraith Band, so he wants to trade and do stuff in the lane. So I think they're trying to kind of dumpster it and not work on like pulling waves and stuff. They want to kind of stand up to this Monkey King.
Okay. I just feel like maybe 70% of the time I see Veno, he dies twice in the first 2 minutes, right? And then his lane is shut down. Now, if Secret can get a couple of kills on him, then the lane can struggle. But if Veno's allowed to just stand, get to like level 3, level 4, it's a rough life for Monkey King.
Yeah, the best thing that they have going for them is the Tusk being on their team. Tusk is probably one of the best heroes at TPing to a lane and getting a kill. And someone like Veno with no ways to protect himself, that could easily be a gank for them if they choose to rotate him like that. The only problem that they have is that Leshrac is not an offlaner who's very good at being left alone, unlike something like a Timbersaw or a DP, so on. So, yeah, they're probably going to have to stick to the lane.
Yeah, he can get run out. Like a Frostbite and a Pounce can catch him out quite easily. Yeah, some strong lanes from ITB. And of course, we've got that Invoker versus Kunkka. Nisha should have the upper hand overall there. Tidebringer's annoying. And of course, he's a melee hero with pretty good base attack. And Supreme's, he's going to get his regen up when he gets the Quas going, so the Tidebringer's not annoying necessarily for him. But it's just the fact the wave is always going to be under your tower and pushed towards you. Not ideal for Invokers. So we'll see that double null. And probably the boots into the urn. Puppy. Nice big wall stomp there. Just catching Ari.
Huge.
A massive AoE now, yeah.
It is, yeah. I mean, Senta got a lot of nice buffs. I don't know if he's really found his like role. So this could be the start of something with that change to the regen. Because yeah, I haven't liked him as an offlaner just because I feel like compared to a Mars who has this massive AoE area controlling all, like a pretty long range stun that can also reposition all this stuff, right? Compared to a Centaur who's like
a one-trick pony. He really is.
A one-trick pony, literally, yeah. He's got this little stomp that it's not even that fast. A lot of heroes players can read it and get that BKB off in response. It's so awkward. And it feels like with all this movement speed buffs over the patches, right? It feels like there's so many speedy heroes buying boosted travel that you're not even guaranteed to get away when you use Stampede anymore.
Yeah, that's what I was wondering in the draft. Like, they're picking the Centaur into Slark. Is this their form of initiation? But with the cast animation of Stomp, Slark can Shadow Dance, he can Pounce, he can Dark Pact, get away. He's got that reaction time. Puppy just going to try and block any pulls. He's also stacked his small camp, so the ability there to drag lane back. And so far, so good for the Monkey King. 9 and 5. Veno's 8 and 1. But they haven't killed the Veno. He's going to crack level 3. He's going to become even more annoying. And he's got Gale with Poison Sting up in his first 2 levels. So we'll see. They hit level 2 on this ITB side. A toss back could absolutely find a kill on Secret.
Yeah, I want to say that Veno shouldn't die with levels here. And it is really hard for them to go. You're 2 melee heroes playing into Veno. You have an Avalanche that's going to be covering you. It's just a little... It's pretty rough. So they should rely a lot on rotations. If Nisha can come top at any point, that would be really helpful for them. As well as, if Zayas can get out of there. I mean, they have the large camp open bot, which is really helpful because it means that they can use this later down the line to get a pull-off, get that wave underneath the tower for Rezo so that he's in a safe place to farm, and then that's when Zayats can start to leave the lane, look for war runes, look for power runes, look for rotation top. so on.
Yeah, and coming back to Nisha, he's got 2 lanes he can play into, right? He's going to feel very happy when he's deciding to rotate with maybe some of these active runes. Going into a Lesh lane where you've got an additional stun on top of the X mark through Split Earth. A lot of magic damage is going to come from Rezo. And the ability to chase and kind of drag people around with X, Shard, Snowball. Team Secret definitely have ways to get involved with these early skirmishes. It's going to be a lot of scrappy fights in a single target focus galore from all these teams. From all these players, sorry. Looks like Zayat's there, just going to start stacking Ancients and large camp. I wonder if that's, yeah, probably going to be for the Kunkka. Kunkka, one of the heroes that can kill Ancients pretty early on from the mid lane.
Yeah, just get him made up big. This game, he could definitely go for his usual damage build that he seems to like to go on Nisha. This AC Hex is also pretty value if he chooses to go for it. Just because any extra lockdown that you have for the Slark is very ideal. Like, Puppy's playing 5, he's not going to have that blink element of surprise. It's also a little bit unreliable into a Slark. Same with Tusk. It's all very telegraphed ways to go on someone. You don't have an instant stun on really any of your cores.
It's like Monkey from the Trees is about it.
Yeah, so a Hex could be really helpful, especially if he gets like a Shadow Blade or something like that.
Level 2 Poison Sting now, yeah. Zibe going for that laning build. I wonder if we'll see what we saw from S4 with that Urn with the kind of 2-3-0 build, then back into Plague Wards. But down at bottom, they are going on Kadaro. Good Ice Shards there, and this Lightning Storm up to level 2. Quite a lot of magic damage. And Otaka trying to get some back onto the Tusk. He's pounced him up, leashed him, but slipping away. Zayat's going to salve, and the Slark very low. Might have to TP home. He's going to... Oh, he's got a courier there, has he? Yeah, raindrops, no more regen, though. Needs his Maiden to come back. Give me tangos, please. Anything.
Come.
A salve as well.
Salve.
Very nice.
It's okay. Yeah, rough lane. Honestly, really, really hard. I think this is the nice thing as well. When you talk about Nisha's ability to rotate on the lanes, if they can just keep wearing down Otaker on his Slark, it makes it so much easier. Because if Nisha comes and he's full health, then, again, all this telegraphed movement of stuns, you're X-marking him, he's just going to charge up the Dark Pact in advance and then just kind of shrug everything off and pounce away. So you need to be able to either like get around him really hard on that X-mark setup so he can't pounce out, or you need Rezo's level 6, or yeah, you just wear him down, wear him down, wear him down. He's really low health, and then there's no real chance for him to get out if Nisha makes that move.
Oh, Nisha gets a bounty rune and invis as well. Doesn't have bottle on the Kunkka, going for that double brace of phase boots. This is where Kunkka is incredibly strong. He's level 6. And of course, you know that Slark, only level 4, doesn't have a Shadow Dance yet. Just needs a bit of mana regen and then could look to rotate. Invoker's probably thinking along the same lines, though. And we're not going to see the Urn from him because, of course, Venno has already got one. So, of course, I stand corrected there. Curious to see what Supreme does then. If he's going for this Quaswex Invoker, Urn has been such an important, integral part of his item build. What's it going to be? Does he just go straight Midas now and start scaling this early on?
Witchblade is
the
Witchblade,
Witchblade,
right?
Of course.
Yeah. That's what I've seen Invokers go, if not Urn. They're throwing Monkey back top.
They are. And Chrysalis turns to fight the Venno. Speeds up into melee creep form. Might get the final hit in. Needs the Boundless Strike, it looks like. But here's the move from Supreme. EMP Tornado, burst through the Monkey King. Maybe even find Puppy on the right-hand side as well. They're trying to shift targets. They know they have to kill the Monkey. But Zibe wants a little more. Has another Gale up. And there we go with his Urn charges ready. Zibe's going to chase them down and 2 kills out of the secret safe lane. Beautifully done by Supreme. And Zibe, the one to clean it all up.
Such a nice rotation from him getting involved. I think Nisha's focusing more on farming. Just really like going for that, taking these jungle camps, giving a little space to Zayats to get those levels too. Supreme, he's just chilling. He's just waiting for a TP opportunity. Otherwise, he's also going to chill and farm. I think that's just the easiest way for them to get involved, especially since you have on the side of Into the Breach, like a lane that's going so nicely already. You're playing this Venno. You don't need Invoker to come bail your lane out. You're already pressuring Chrysalis.
And just compounding those issues. 28 last hits
really
on Monkey. Not looking great. But on the flip side, you do have like 61 CS on the Kunkka. You're right, a lot of these are jungle creeps. But you've also got Leshrac, who's sat in the lane and now just cleared a massive large camp. So Rezo, he's going to have his hood pretty soon on top of Arcane's Wand, Null Tally. This Lesh is going to be huge.
He is. It is definitely a real concern. I think if Supreme wants to really make an actual move anywhere, maybe you could have Ari come mid. For that, I mean, he's gonna get armed.
Yeah, they're pouncing top. Puppy started it with a stomp, but when the Veno arrives, you realize very quickly that's not a spot on the map you want to be in anymore. You might just have to deny Puppy, honestly. They don't get it done. Chrysalis hits him, and he dies to the poison regardless. And this is really good, solid damage on the tier 1 already. Even without the catapult wave now. It's down in that bottom jungle, Kadaro chased by Nisha and Rezo, as they do continue to pressure that Slark's lane. Both the Slark and the Monkey having some serious problems. Chrysalis even losing his courier up top.
The teams are mirroring each other's movements right now. Because one move that they could have made on ITV was bringing Ari mid for a power rune or something like that. And then him bringing a smoke, and then you smoke your Invoker to bot and try and take a fight there. Because right now, Rezo is popping off. Like you said, it's a big issue, and he is going to be a counter to your Slark. And going Witchblade and stuff on Supreme, it means that this magic damage, they're really susceptible to it.
And Supreme in this top jungle, again finding Puppy's Centaur. Won't be able to get away from that, even with the Fairy Fire popped. Good control of that deeper jungle as they took the tier 1 and pressed forward at the same time. And a quick swing in towards mid, it looks like, here as well. Now, catapult waves are spawning soon, so they're preparing for that wave to come in for a big push into mid.
It'd be really nice if they can get this tower, but there's a lot of ways to defend it on secret. Just Conquer alone and his combo is it can easily get someone killed. They don't have supernatural save on ITB.
Oh, they've got the Wukongs here onto Ari. Zayats and the tag team trying to slow him down. Looks like even the statues getting that slow proc out of the tag team. Zibe focused down by Resolution. So much magical damage as they kill off Kidaro as well. And there's the defense. They swing in with 5 heroes in secret and make sure that the catapult wave won't even reach the tower.
It's really easy to defend. It's honestly, because of this bottom tower going down, it makes it so easy for Secret to make the natural rotation of just walking through the jungle and coming out from behind. So ITV probably should have been aware of that being a move that could happen to them as they kind of walked up into the river like that. They don't have defensive wards back on their jungle, so at that point it's kind of too hard for them to react. And they'll just die. But yeah, they need to be careful. I think this Quas Wex build, probably the biggest impact that it did have for the laning stage was he kept Nisha on such low mana that he was never able to go rotate, never TP if he wasn't getting these runes. But he doesn't have a bottle either, so he's just so low on mana that he wasn't able to be super mobile around the map. But now it's not really like that anymore. Laning stage is broken down. He's been moving bot, taking that tower.
Farming jungle.
Yeah, Nisha's just keeping up net worth and making good moves.
There's no one burning my mana in the jungle. I'm staying here. Zayats, he's going to break the smoke. But ITB will break him down as well. Pops his one, tries to snowball, but doesn't have the mana for it. Again, a nice little move to get themselves that position in the jungle. And it's all about clearing areas for Slark. They come in here, make sure there's no one ganking our ticker, so the Slark can keep on farming in towards that Mage Slayer. It's a little bit of a shift up there. Not going for the straight Echo Saber.
This is the weird thing about... This is the conundrum with Mage Slayer for me, right? I don't know if you agree. But a Mage Slayer is... He wants to jump on this Leshrac and hit him, right? And then he's doing so much less magical damage as a result. And that's sort of his aggressive way of, I want to fight and kill you. But at the same time, it's like, it's just kind of a weirder version of a BKB. You can still die. You can still get stunned. If he feels like this Mage Slayer is enough damage reduction to be able to fight, then I think it's a really good choice. Sorry.
Yeah, I felt good about the Mage Slayer when it comes after. You know, you buy Echo, you disassemble, then you get BKB, then you get Mage Slayer, and that's where it feels good. Yeah. Going it as a first item, yeah, it feels a little odd, but I guess you're right. That's his opportunity. And try and play around this Tiny, get in on top of the Lash. Secret here, they'll de-wall their jungle, try and give Chrysalis a bit of breathing room. And he is down at the bottom of the cores, as in that Ancients area. I'm going to clear out all these Ancient stacks with the Freezing Field. Give Supreme a nice little rush towards the BKB now his Witchblade is done.
Gary, I need help. I don't know what happened, but I can now only see Radiant's perspective on the map. How do I make the font go back to normal?
Oh geez, I can't remember the default hotkeys. It's like press F3. It's one of the F buttons.
Oh yeah.
It's F3?
It's F1. Thank you.
It's F1, okay. Yeah, I shifted all my hotkeys, so struggling to remember the default ones. Is that you found it?
I'm free.
I've had that before at a LAN, and sometimes like your settings aren't saved, and like you've got someone else's settings in your game. And I pressed dire perspective, and there was no hotkey set to move it back to the other one. So like I'm going through options, advanced spectator settings. God, please, I just want to see the map.
Okay, all right, we're safe, we're good.
14-minute BKB on Nisha. He's got Daedalus queued up.
I mean, this is the thing. He likes to go this damage build, and he's been farming all game. He's gonna walk into Ari's line of sight. Supreme's around. They smoke. Did they see it? Yeah, under a ward.
Yeah, Radiant Vision sees it coming. ITB all coming back to their tier 1 mid. Secret are still looking for the line here, and they'll look for the torrent. But Nisha not landing it. A bound to strike was optimistic from Crystalis. That's where Secret got to reconsider their options now. An X mark, a torrent, a bound to strike, all missing out. I've got to find another place on the map to be. Some long lines drawn by Resolution, like someone go farm top, someone go and deal with this. But Puppey, he's being turned around on. Went up for that top rune, gets caught out by Supreme.
Yeah.
Well, that's your first stack on Slark as well.
Oh yeah, good for him. But yeah, seeing that move with that ward, it probably should be clear to Secret that it's there now, and they should deward it. They're even just going to smoke back into this vision to try and take advantage of it.
I mean, Crystalis is going to get jumped, though. Tranquil boots on his Tiny. He's pretty speedy, running forward. The Cold Snap going to stop the Wukongs, and Supreme controls the Monkey King. Perfect disables onto him. Well, Zayats has rolled in here. Secret wants to try and continue fighting. They're swarming down, TPing with Puppey as well. Tag team runs out, and Zayat struggling to do the damage he needs. Stampede into Stomp. Oh, barely missing. Maiden is back in Fountain, while it looks like Rezo with Nisha. Finding Zippei's Venomancer. Chain stunning him with a boat and a split earth. The toss back under tower. Not going to do too much to Nisha there, as Resolution will just clear up the Veno.
That's a lot of damage onto Rezo with that ult. If they can take a proper big fight with this Veno ult next time it's up, that could be pretty devastating for Secret. It's nice having this rum buff though in it.
Yeah.
Like the ability to damage reduce so much of it.
I'm kind of excited if we see that latent toxicity come back again. That shard from the Venomancer was really cool the first time we saw it. You were explaining that, you know, it pops through BKB, anytime you dispel, you take like 300 damage, getting stunned for what, 2 seconds or something? Yeah,
it's
2 seconds
pretty
stun.
good stun, yeah. And they're not buying like Yule Scepters and stuff, because that's probably the only real way to deal with the latent toxicity, because you can, when you Yules, you dispel it, and also it still stuns you, but you're stunned while Yulesing, so it's probably the best item to deal with it. Everything else, I mean, yeah, all these BKBs totally would get countered by the latent toxicity.
It looks like Puppey's still having some struggles here. Every time he shows on a lane, he's losing all 423 mana he's got to 1 EMP. I'm trying to get into the Glimmer Cape. But ITB holding their tier 1 with 4 heroes in the vicinity. And this is a lot of room for the Slark. You know, he's racing up the net worth. He's now top of the Radiant cores. Miles ahead of the Monkey King at this point. Secret much more reliant on the Kunkka and the Lash to be the carries this game so far.
Yeah, it feels like timings aren't aligning for Secret properly. Like Nisha's finished his BKB, for example, and I think that's one reason why they wanted to fight bot so badly. But at the same time, Crystalis hasn't got a BKB. Leshrac hasn't got a BKB. They're like relatively tanky, and I think that's why they feel pretty good, because they have the Eternal Shroud. But there's still that threat and worry, especially playing into a Venomancer. If they can catch him first, that would be so good for a fight.
And they're trying to pivot from the Roche Pit up into Ancient's area, and they see the Slark. One of the great things about Kunkka is you cannot dispel this X mark in the... the Wukong's command comes, the torrent is there, but he's in the Shadow Dance. They're trying to chain stun him so he can't escape, and they do it! So many stuns and projectiles launched at this Slark, he couldn't escape.
Bro, that was the most anti-Slark thing I've ever seen in my life. Oh my god, every AoE stun under the sun came out there. Oh, he messed up the Dark Pact on the ship, unfortunately, which meant that he did just come back and get stunned up. I wonder if it would have gone differently otherwise, but yeah, I mean, they there's so many stuns just on that ground. Really nice gank, actually. Obviously, it would be nice to catch someone like Zippei, because it means you can chase more for more kills, but the carry is by no means a sad catch.
Yeah, that's a pretty big one. It's just Taking that tier 1 is also going to help them out as well, because they've struggled to get onto this mid tower. You know, ITB are throwing everything to defend it. So that does give them a little bit of wiggle room around the Roche pit in particular. Another fight could lead into grabbing Aegis.
Yeah, Zippei's going for a 4-staff, which is pretty nice. Obviously, I am someone who highly values 4-staffs and what they give. But I would want it more for Secret's team than Into the Breaches. For Into the Breach, if you were to try and poke at the mid tower, for example, a 4-staff's not going to save your life just because of the X marks. I think usually in that situation, you either buy something like a Yules or you buy a BKB. And that's how you're going to be allowed to fight. Maybe he is playing with the intention of letting someone else, like Oteka, be the one that pushes the tower, and then if he gets gone on and gets stunned, then he can just reposition him and get him out. So it might be more of a I'm playing behind you type deal rather than I'm playing up.
I kind of set up, play with wards, hide in the trees, play from fog.
Yeah. I really want to see Venno get the shard after his 4-staff though, and then go BKB.
Well, they're trying to catch this Invoker. And to have the sentry down, and they were attempting a D-ward when Supreme was contesting it in this mid lane. And now Nisha stepped forward. He does have this BKB up and already naturally tanky with that Rum hangover on him. And Supreme BKB's up. Zayats blinks in. The Stampede to disengage and retreat now as Nisha has to BKB. Turns and focuses Kidara with one slap of the sword, but I'm not going to get any takedowns as that Sunstrike off the mark. Probably not enough damage either. Just level 2 exort, it looks like.
Would have been cool though. Like, damn, he's got good accuracy. But I think it's the standing around mid. It will benefit both the carries. For a while, Crystallis was sort of hanging around mid, which I don't want to see him do. I think if I want him to get involved only when a fight breaks out and he can sort of TP to it. Because he needs to catch up and he needs to make use of this.
Oh, Glimmer from Puppey trying to save Zayats, but they've got Reveal down, and now they move on to the Centaur instead. Toss him back into the ice wall. Centaur just trying to stomp and delay his death. But ITB, they bring the numbers. 5 heroes mid around a catapult wave. Hitting a timing here with this Slark Aghanim Scepter. Try and push forward. They're looking for the secondary timings as well with Tiny Blink and a 4-staff on this Crystal Maiden. So getting a tower here, putting gold in your support's pockets, incredibly vital.
Yeah. And now Oteka has his Ags. It means that like we can see people playing with him more. Like he's been kind of excluded, it's felt like, from ITB's lineup as he just tries to farm up. But now, you know, if Tiny and him are close to each other, they could maybe get a kill together. We can see Invoker kind of going towards Slark. If Slark plays on these side lanes, for example, and someone shows there, it's easy to just do a quick leap into follow up by any one hero. There's kind of a lot more kill threat just by having this.
Yeah. Amplify your hero pairings.
Yeah, otherwise you're just chilling until this Blink Dagger. It's coming now on the Courier. I definitely think ITB can smoke with this. They have BKB on Invoker. Slark's feeling pretty strong with his Mage Slayer, and Crystallis is still so far off of his BKB.
And he can disassemble the Echo, right? So he's like 800 away from doing that for the recipe of BKB. Yeah. Still a little bit. Needs a couple more creep waves to get himself ready and underway. Yeah. I kind of liked what I saw Zippei queuing up a few moments ago. He had Aghanim Scepter in his quick buy. Having that percentage-based damage against all these tanky strength heroes would have been incredible. But it looks like he just wants to be survivable. Wants that BKB, rather. Yeah,
I want the BKB. I don't know where he's going to get his shot from, though. I do think it's really high value, and they haven't even taken first Roche yet, so he can't get it from a Roche kill.
I think Slark was also thinking about his one. Doesn't look like he's committed for it. He had they're all like queuing these items and thinking, nah, I need BKB. Nah, I need BKB. Oh, they need ways to contend with heroes like Nisha, who are just diving into your jungle. Getting a catch on the Tiny. X-Mark boat comes through. The Stampede 4-staff. Puppey moves on to the second target now, which is the Crystal Maiden. Burst down, and Rezo grabs a double kill for himself. I could quickly shift this into a tier 2 push. Wave is already here. A level 4 Edict. No joke when you are shoving into towers.
They didn't have vision, did they? On ITB, it looked like they were sort of looking for bot, and then the smoke broke on Kunkka. I don't know if they knew who they were initiating on, or if they just... This is why this lineup is a little bit rough. You're playing into BKBs and you don't have proper lockdown for, no follow-up. He uses Avalanche and, there's no Boundless Strike into Leshrac Split Earth into Centaur Hoof Stomp. Like, you don't really have that follow-up. So for ITB, it would be really nice to see Invoker, for example, Supreme buy a Hex at some point. Also, Veno could potentially get it after the BKB if he wants to. Just some more lockdown would be really keen so that your initiations are a little bit smoother.
Yeah, it's Avatos into BKB from your enemies. That's the chain of events.
Yeah, because they want to take pretty extended fights on ITB, but it kind of sucks when you smoke up and you're not able to get a kill like that. Obviously, you force the BKB from Nisha, so now you actually have a chance to smoke again and just go in, right? Reinitiate while that's on cooldown, and then you can die. Because this is the thing: these long extended fights, these fights that go on past when a BKB is down, you have so many ways to fight into them, right? You just talked earlier about how good this Ags was on Slug, being able to pounce in, then pounce out, kind of force things, go back in, play around the skirts of the fight. Meanwhile, like Invoker's gonna constantly just be wanting to cycle through his spells, so the longer a fight goes, the more he's getting out. Aveno's just gonna poison over you, and that's just gonna do pretty long time damage over time. So yeah, here comes the smoke.
That's one of the most irritating things. If they are able to kite and bait these BKBs, Venomancer becomes incredibly potent as they pounce straight in. Slark jumps off across to the Kunkka, trying to get Nisha, but they've got the Wukongs from Chrysalis with his BKB up. They lose Nisha now, but Rezo and Chrysalis are able to turn. Oh, it's just a Crystal Maiden, though. That's all they get, and they're all tagged by this Poison Nova and Gale. ITB, they can go back in. Supreme grabs a double kill and the chase is on. Tornado, Avalanche catching out Monkey King. Centaur trying to stomp them and hold them back, but the toss is there and Secret lose 4. ITB, they knew that was their moment. The window to strike, and they do it beautifully.
They did. That is literally perfect scenario for them. And also something I really like that Oteka did in that fight is that he pounced onto Rezo, hit him once, and then changed targets. Like, I don't think he had any illusion about trying to kill Rezo because he has that BKB, but he wanted to make sure the Mage Slayer effect was on him so that he could then hit other people without caring, or at least then force Rezo to use his BKB pretty early in the fight. Right, we talk about how they want to take these longer fights, so yeah, like, managing to kind of get that out instantly on Rezo is such a win for him.
And you see the strength of this Poison Nova. They're all on the run, but they're all ticking down. Lower and lower they drop. And ITB all pretty, like, nobody bought back, right? They're all super healthy. They go into that fight. Just the fact that Kunkka BKB is down makes it a hellish battle for Secret.
Dire's bottom tower is under
attack. It was good for them. They just took that initial little spat that caused deaths, but they got the BKB, they got what they wanted. They had their condition to go take the fight, and they did it. So now for Secret, looking at them, they've been really kind of doubling down on just managing to get damage out, right? Like, Nisha's going for this Daedalus build. He isn't going for the AC Hex build. Chrysalis, he's finally finished his BKB. He did use it that last fight, but he's not quite got damage items yet. He'll need to go for that. I know Lestrak was kind of piling on that Eternal Shroud and wanting to fight early with the Kaya and stuff, but it kind of was just not giving them avenues to really fight because ITB had some pretty good early game wards down. I guess going into the future, ways that they can start fights is with this blink on Tusk. If you can get a punch off on Invoker, that could lead to just all of the follow-ups chain stun that we've talked about.
Is this one of those games where it's like all down to who jumps first? It's like who dares wins, who jumps first. They're the ones that actually get the fight they want. Because it feels that way, especially for ITB. But I don't know about Secret.
It's hard for me to say. Just because, like I said, I think ITB want to force out cooldowns and then they want to go. If they fully commit in, maybe with all these BKBs on Secret, it's not that bad because they have so many stuns. Like, if they get stunned on you.
Well, there's a catch on Nisha. He's going to have to BKB up to get out of the Frostbite. Zions and Rezo trying to turn, but they miss the Split Earth as the Wukongs from Chrysalis comes out onto Zibe. Gets out his Poison Nova, though, as they'll lose the Centaur in the back to Oteka. No, he pops his wand. Glimmer Cape away. Another Slark in a bit of trouble. Trying to stack up Essence Shift. He pounces, not quite across the cliffs, but he's hidden here by the high ground ward spot. Now another pounce gets him down to low ground. A Secret, they lose one, getting a couple of kills, but expending a lot as the Sunstrike just off the mark there, looking for those low HP stragglers after the Poison Nova.
Huh, that played out exactly how I thought it would. But that makes me feel good. Like this, they get the toss, right? But because they have so little stuns, it doesn't really do anything. They should just BKBs and walks back, and then suddenly they have full vision of where ITB is. They put these high ground wards down, and they had them down, sorry, at the start of the fight even. And you just see the ability for them to kind of counter turn with their BKBs, and there's not really much ITB can do. they need more items, I think, to make plays like that. They need hexes, they need a basher on Oteka, or like at least if Secret Turn, for example, right, this depth shroud, the shard on the Slark, if he can put that down on Zibe, that might make him able to sustain a little bit longer. He's gone this 4-star to try and get himself out of the Monkey King ult, but it's not enough as we saw.
Yeah, and Slark needs a partner. He can't be doing all this on his own. In that fight, he was kind of isolated. After the Tiny jumped in, retreated, and fell into the Wukong's command, Slark was up on that high ground, battling on his own.
Yeah.
Need a little bit more.
Maybe the fight turns differently if they didn't play under that high ground ward, though. Because Secret did see everything. And you're in this sort of small area, right? The entirety of ITB, for them to get into the fight, they have to go up this very narrow staircase.
The choke point.
Yeah, it's like a pretty rough choke point, where Secret are just playing from different angles. They got Chrysalis in the trees.
Exactly right. He's got an angle of his own.
Yeah. I do think, though, it's better for ITV to play either a poke game or play to get pickoffs on side lanes, for now, until they have more items. Yeah. And Secret will just get... Secret are very strong when they're together. That's kind of like the nicest thing for them. You know, you have so many tanky heroes that take so long to die. Like all these BKBs as well. It's very hard for ITV to sort of commit heroes in without getting punished in some way. Where Zayats is able to delay a death on someone with that Blink Snowball. You know, Rezo's just pumping out extreme AoE damage. The more that you pop into them, the more they like it. All this cleave damage from Nisha. So on, so on.
Hey, like Glimmer Cape from Puppey, and we were talking about how greedy he can be as a... I don't know, he's just not a position 5, is he? We can't call him that. He is a position 4 from the safe lane. He's higher net worth than the Tusk. Has his Blink Dagger now as well. Philosopher's Stone obviously helping out to get to these bigger items. But now another form of initiation from Secret where Puppey can be that selfless initiator. He doesn't mind if he jumps in and dies, as long as he gets out his spells and allows his Nisha and Chrysalis carries to actually stay alive. That's his ideal goal. And it feels like every blink and every initiation form you have, it like amplifies the previous one you got. So you got Blink on Tusk, then Blink on Centaur, you got Primal Spring from Monkey King, Kunkka where the Silver Edge can gap close and get on top of people, along with the X marks. Everything here makes life much more challenging for heroes like Slark and Invoker, who you've been talking about, want to kind of play the outskirts, reset, draw these fights out. If they're being permanently jumped and chased, they're not comfortable. They can't go doing this back and forth gameplay.
Exactly. I guess the later the game goes and the more damage and tools that ITB get, though, you have to respect and fear Ari's tossback more on Tiny. Especially if he gets a key target, because, yeah, they got Nisha there, but if you can kill someone like Monkey King at the start of a fight, that would be pretty huge for them. Because then he's not able to get that Wukong's command down, because that Wukong's was massive last fight. It pretty much just instantly blew up Zive.
Yeah, there's a pain. Oh, Slark. He's jumping in aggressively. X-Mark, torrented, split earth, Nisha in, the boat, the full staff save with the BKB and the Shadow Dance. He still dies, though, to Rezo's Edict. And chasing towards Kidara's Maiden, but a good move up towards that little nook on the high ground there. Does get the TP away.
Ah, a little bit of greed. A little bit of greed, Gary. Didn't want to pop his BKB for that X-Marks.
Sometimes you just gotta do it.
Yeah, relying on that Dark Pact. Obviously a nice 4-star from Kidara, but Edict goes through BKB. Can't just use that and hope you'll be okay if you're that low health.
Absolutely can't. It looks like ITB still wanting to mount a defense on this tier 1. Chrysalis missing that boundless strike means no follow through from Puppey and Zayats. And they are eyeing up an initiation. They will find the Blink Stomp, the 4-staff, but the X drag back. They've got him inside the Wukong's command. BKB a bit of safety for Supreme. As they turn onto Zibe, he got out his Poison Nova, so irritating for Secret to continue fighting, but they're going to get the kills regardless. Even with that Poison Nova on them, they're also tanky. They kill the tier 1 and only lose the Tusk.
They're ticking down from it.
See, that's the thing. This is the situation
really
where
anyone else.
If they had the Slark alive there, you could see them chasing, right? ITB would chase, find another kill, a bonus one on the Monkey or the Kunkka.
Yeah. Yeah, that's exactly how they want to play the fights, and they're not getting them given to them by Secret right now. I think even if you look to that fight that ITB lost initially on that high ground, that was kind of an example, right, of Secret not giving things to them. They're standing on the high ground together as a team. They're bunched up, ready, waiting to counter I think something that Into the Breach do a lot is group up and try and take a lot of fights. And I think in the games that Secret have lost to them, they've been a little bit spread out. They've not been bunching together as a team and getting picked off. And that's sort of what allows ITB to really chase them down. So this game, they've done a much better job of sticking together and covering each other.
Yeah. Yeah, it's also kind of interesting heading into late game now. Like, look at Secret, and they've got Monkey, Lesh, and Kunkka, these 3 cores who can scale with multiple sources of like magical and physical damage. ITB kind of just have the Slark, but they've got the kind of anti-carry in the Veno that's going to contend with Secret's tankiness. And Invoker, he has these weird ups and downs, right? He has like good early game, weird mid game, but then when he starts transitioning hard into Exort, like he's pretty much already there. You start considering him as one of the real strong super late game heroes. BKB start wearing down, they're down to 6 seconds, and then his spells can start opening up much better. They're smoking up top. Scanning, spotting the vision. Kadaro dewards. Secret are preparing themselves for this, though. They are ready to jump, and they'll see Ari, but he's already blinked away. Zayats with the shards, trapping the Tusk in and giving a bit of vision, forcing the self-fuels. That'll lead to the Torrent, though. And now Utica is in onto Zayats, but Puppy blinks back in. The boat, the kill. Where did Slark go? He disappeared on my screen. Didn't he? She just crit him down. I thought that was the Tiny. He just gets destroyed. Now Rezo chasing with a slow out of the storm. They force the BKB from Zibe. A lot of damage from Nisha. That's where it's coming from. These big Tidebringer crits and hits.
What the hell, Gary?
Can we see that back?
I was completely with you. Yes, I have to see that. I thought Tiny died.
Because he pounced in and just lost 80% of his health. Look at how much damage this Kunkka's doing. 1,000 damage from the Kunkka onto that Slark. Oh, that's bonkers.
Alright, well, I think Otaka is starting to realize how liberal he needs to be with his BKBs, at least. This is the second fight in a row now where he's tried to hold on to it.
And a quick Roshan for Secret, giving it to Resolution so he can keep moving forward aggressively, be that frontliner for them.
Yeah. I do think that this BKB stuff is sort of a symptom of how they want to play. Where when I talk about wanting to sort of force Secret to use stuff and then they want to catch them on the way out and try and hunt, run them down. Obviously, if you use your BKB to start a fight, you're not really getting what you want. You want to force them to use stuff. You don't want to use stuff yourself. You're playing this little sneaky hero like Slark that can pounce in, pounce out, use his depth shroud, use a shadow dance. He doesn't want to just commit a BKB hardcore, but these heroes, this draft even from Secret, it is very much geared to punish you fully if you don't use that BKB. So looking forward, I'm sure he'll just be a little bit more careful. It's going to get worse and worse from here on out. As Nisha gets more damage, these crits are going to get bigger. He's going to be doing so much. And
it's not something we usually see Slark buying an AC, but he knows he needs the armor to survive. Against Monkey, against Kunkka. They've got this Deso on the Monkey King, so that's only amplifying the physical damage from Tag Team, from Wukongs, and Tidebringer in particular.
No. Things are getting better for Secret for sure now. Now they have this Aegis, they can poke at the high ground and force TPs back from ITB. They can also kind of form that sort of wall across the map as... whoops, oh my god, my puppy died.
Yeah, TP top, trying to hold out the wave.
Yeah.
He's a position 5.
Yeah, it's a disgusting position 5. Who cares about them?
That's 40 seconds of Aegis kind of wasted, though. And this is where Secret maybe want to sit back a little bit.
Yeah, they can do that. They didn't go for that push on bot to kind of force TPs. They're just resetting the lane now. I guess they'll look for some kills top. They can push this all the way out and take that tier 2 tower top. I think their aim with this Aegis will be to take these 2 tier 1 towers. And if they can take those, that just makes it much easier for them to hold the triangle, for example. God, Kiraro nearly dying to that crit from Invis.
Yeah, Nisha, not kidding around. Got his Orchid now as well on this Kunkka. So another way to play around after the BKBs, or even just force a BKB early by putting your Orchid on people. I mean, what are we down to now? 6 on the Invoker, 7 on the Slark. Veno's still up at 8, so Zibe can have that extended BKB for himself. And then over on the Dire side, of course, Monkey down to 6, Lesh down to 6, Kunkka down to 6. They've all spent their BKBs to play actively these first 36 minutes.
Yeah, lots of fighting.
Rezo crashes into that top tier 2, has everybody behind him. It looks like Secret, they know there's going to be vision here from ITB. They don't want to play into it, so they're holding back, waiting for ITB to come to their ward instead. That's what ITB are going to do. They're going to oblige, but Puppey a little out of position, but a quick blink and a 4-staff glimmer. Oh, the speedy reactions out of Puppey.
Ortega's clipped himself.
He has. And Rezo sprinting forward, not going to connect with anyone. Yeah, Puppey proving age doesn't matter. He's got the reactions of even some of these younger Zoomers.
He does. Oh, he's going to look to cut top now, it looks like. But Chrysalis, I mean, they're smoked.
This is risky. They're going to turn around, though. Finding the Tusk instead. Rezo clipped by the Gale, but Ari, he's dead. Quite a bit of damage onto Rezo here, and a good EMP tornado. Looking to try and reinitiate, but with this Agnum Shard on the Lesh, these split earths just building up in areas of control. Secret are so good at taking choke point fights. You don't want to meet them on a staircase or a ramp or in Roshan. You want, like, ITB need open spaces to fight, don't they?
Yeah, it kind of works for them both in a little way, right? If you're getting put in a choke point on Secret, then Invoker's gonna land all of his spells. You know, everyone's sort of together for the Zibe to use his ult, but it definitely favors Secret a lot. Oof, nice reaction from Ortega there.
Well, there he goes. Pouncing back to safety. Closing in on his Assault Cuirass. And the
Secret can kind of start on whoever they want.
And they're going to start on Kadaro. A simple kill, dragging back. Crystal Maiden going to be helped out by Ari here, though. And Kadaro with the freezing field, with BKB up for Ortega, is turning to fight into Nisha, but now the Wukongs from Chrysalis forces them all back. Quite a lot of cooldowns expended by Secret just to keep Nisha and the rest of them alive.
That's fine, but they have to back now. They're quite low mana and resources. This Aegis is about to expire. You are looking now to just reset this map, get your resources, and then look to re-engage. They have these double wards on the triangle, so there is a chance that they could try and smoke into it again to sort of defend the territory that they've claimed. I think ITB actually think they might even just be up there. Kadaro gonna poke his head up.
Nobody here, just an obs and a sentry.
Okay. Well, Chrysalis is getting his mana back now.
Difficult to catch this. Nisha Kunkka, though, using X-Mark to shove wave safely. And they are smoking down into bottom Ancients, seeing Zayat, but again, the blink away from this pounce. Puppey and Zayat, both very quick with their fingers to jump away from him. I mean, Slark even there had the Cloak of Flames, which I think tagged the Tusk, but there's that window, right? The brief moment of being able to blink. Ari, though, going to make sure they get the catch, kill the Tusk. Split Earth landing from Rezo, and a lot of damage in towards this Tiny and Slark. They'll just focus Ari down, get Rezo this beyond godlike streak, 10-0-7. Marching forward. Team Secret still feeling comfortable with that buyback from Zaya, just amassing their forces down bottom.
ITB could potentially hold this high ground, but I don't think they use BKBs on Secret. So it's... yeah, they didn't. So it's still hard for them to fight. Ortega didn't have to use his either, which is pretty big. There's still some time here where they don't have Rosh up, so everyone's not super clamoring around top, but we should see soon. ITB will try to fully control like this triangle, play around a ward of their own. We've seen it 100 times. You put the high ground ward down, you see everything, you play into it, you sit there for 5 minutes, and then you smoke into each other and a massive fight happens.
That's the way of things. I try to catch Supreme top, but he's pretty quick out of there with the Ghost Walk and the Boots of Travel Speed. Man, I was in the draft, you know, I was saying there's the potential for this Leshrac to be position 1, right? And even though it was from the off lane, it kind of has become this carry. 28,000 net worth on Rezo, unkilled. Really amassing this huge inventory of items, heading into Scythe of Vice next. An absolute monster. Like a beast.
Yeah, Chrysalis is lagging behind in net worth, but you see why. It's because everything's gone into Rezo. And it's not like he's, you know, not going to be able to do anything in these fights by being behind. He's going to get that Wukongs off. He has a nullifier. He's kind of just making sure that they have all the tools necessary for his teammates to just do maximum amounts of damage.
Oh, Slark. Stunned up, gets off his Dark Pact. And Wukong's there again, zoning ITB back. An awkward engagement as it looks like ITB will swing to turn with a toss back on Lesh. They can't focus him down though. Rezo's far too tanky. They're poking and prodding, waiting at the Wukongs. In comes Supreme with Alacrity on Undertaker. Good deafening blast going to push them back, but Rezo, he's still up and running. Out of mana though at this point, so lacking the damage a bit from Secret as the Slog will get away in a great 3-man avalanche. Snowball across the side, back into the Slog. They don't get him though. A pounce away gives him the safety they need. And there we go with Nisha, critting them down. Just get the triple kill off the back of a Tidebringer strike, and Puppey in the end did stampede Blink to catch the Slog. A dragged out extended fight, even heading towards the Roche pit with the Slog there, but Secret come out on top.
They are just ahead. They are ahead in net worth. They're so tanky. You're really feeling how hard it is for Slug to kill. He's queued up this basher earlier, but he realized I can't go for it. I have to go the armor. Like you said, playing into Nisha and doing all this damage is so hard. Like he needs the AC instead. And as a result, they just don't have this lockdown. I think it's like much harder for ITB. You even see in that fight, Veno's BKB goes down, and then the Kunkka just reinitiates on him and kills him because he can't get away. There's nothing he can do. Same goes, honestly, at this point for Slark. Now that, because he's not really strong enough, doing enough damage, it means that Rezo, for example, is just living through everything. He has armor, he has tankiness, he has a Bloodstone, an Eternal Shroud, and then he's the one living longer and outputting all that damage with Pulse Nova onto the Slark.
Yeah, and I think it's got to be said, you've been talking about it even back into Europe East, now into Europe West, 4 staffs. Now, we've seen games where nobody's picked them up, and we are really focusing on them now because we've got, what, 4 staffs in this game? And in that team fight, you could see the Monkey King drifting around, getting double 4-staffed away from the Slark, away from the tiny tossback and any forms of further initiation ITB had. And the same story from ITB as well. You know, Crystal Maiden has one. Tiny might be looking for it. He's looking for one as well on top of the Veno's 4-staff that he's already picked up. So many ways to kite BKBs, extend these team fights, and give you more opportunities to move back in.
I think they're just really struggling on ITB to kind of lock someone down to do enough damage. Like you talk about the 4-stars, yeah, you're getting a toss back and he's instantly kind of getting out, or having a Satanic, having a BKB that gives him like a 2nd, 3rd life to sort of stand his ground, get out, and ITB just don't have that lockdown to stop him from doing it. This is why I really wanted to see a Hex on Invoker. If you're able to Hex, you know, start with a tiny Avalanche combo, follow up with a Hex, put down a Sunstrike, Meteor, Slot hitting them. If you're able to burst someone, it makes your fights just much easier. That hurts so much, man. There's so much damage, dude.
So yeah, Zibe is standing on his high ground mid. Nisha cleaves off the wave, and yeah, half HP. one Tidebringer, and he's half HP.
All this AoE threat from Secret. They even bought a Hex on Rezo. Like, they understand that if they just have more ways to lock down ITB, they can just win these fights. They just have more stuns.
Yeah, because we're not seeing Lincolns or Lotuses. Oh, Lincolnses or Lotuses.
Lincolnses and Lotuses.
I might start thinking about those soon against the Scythe of Ice. But every wave now starting to trend towards Radiant Base. Bot shoved in by Rezo. 3 members of Secret moving from mid up into Ancients.
ITB just need to pick off, man.
I mean, ITB see them coming. Frostbite to delay them moving forward. As Nisha, Crystallis, they get in on top of Ari. Tiny being focused. Artica can't really get in on top of anybody, so they'll just lose their Tiny here, and now Secret charging in. They see Supreme, can they catch him in his BKB? He drops the meatballs on them. Crystallis thinking about the Wukongs, but a lot of magic damage coming his way. Jumping across, still holding on to that Aegis, of course, while the Slark gets his BKB off and kills off the Tusk, but what now? It is BKB to run, and Monkey King, he's keeping his eyes on him. Trying to find the Slark kill, while Nisha in the back, X-marking Zippe. Will be able to find this Veno. Ooh, maybe not with the Ice Wall down. Resolution chasing him, sights him, finds the kill. Another 2 swift takedowns by Secret as they get up to high ground. Puppey sidesteps the Sunstrike, but double catapults with Nisha frontlining. BKB's up, grabs the maid and takes her out. And this base wide open for Secret. A buyback start to come out, and Nisha looking a little worse for wear, but he can still X-mark TP home and maybe return to the fight. The other side is
Or
not worth
Satanic.
it. Oh yeah, and the Satanic. So they can stick around if they want to.
This Nullify is quite impactful. Coming on Crystallis, just because it makes these like Yules on Tiny, 4 stars on CM and stuff. All these aren't very effective against Nullified. It purges them, and you're just kind of stuck there. It's just like all this mobility that they're trying to itemize to deal with Secret's lineup means that none of it's really working.
Secret again, going in with a Hex. Otaka gonna give himself a bit of safety here with the Shadow Dance, but Resolution still doing damage through it, and Puppey found the jump on Supreme. Invoker away with a Depth Shroud help. Rezo's beyond godlike though, killing the Maiden off. And Team Secret really transferring this net worth lead into insurmountable pressure against ITB. Still holding Aegis for another minute and a half. And they'll do this TP home, X mark back, so they can keep themselves in this Radiant Ancient area.
Maybe at this point you gotta just consider the last ditch efforts of defending your base and playing off a tiny toss back. The Ari is one level away from getting his toss requires no target as well, which might make it easier.
Supreme sees Rezo pushing that bottom wave, and he's got Slark and Tiny with him. Oh, it's difficult to catch Rezo. He's got that Trickster cloak, goes in Viz, runs away.
Scanning.
Radiant even scanning the trees to figure out where he's gone.
It's so difficult playing into this gem when Secret have such lane presence. Because I think if you want to make plays like that, you need to ward like lanes in advance and stuff, so you see like the areas that people are moving into when they're falling back on the map. Because Secret, for the most part, they're playing super forward. They're playing in a line outside of your base. Oh, but they're gonna find Zayats maybe, or Zayats is gonna find a Taker.
Slark is afraid. Yeah, if you see one Secret hero, you expect everybody behind him. Nisha and Puppey not too far away. Wait, did Zayat see that? He did. Tiny blinking over him. And I'll find the Tiny in this tree line. Resolution straight there. It was the high ground ward that spotted them just on the corner. Stampede? What's that for? It's for Crystallis. He's BKB'd and looking to run away. Over on the left-hand side of the map. ITB, they force his BKB. Aegis is about to expire. I don't think Secret are going to be afraid. 41,000 net worth to the good. And there's Nisha. BKB'd up. Getting bashed by the Slark, but Otaka's BKB wearing out quickly. So it's just the trade of the Magic community in that mid lane, and this is going to allow Resolution a bit of freedom just to walk up high ground. No, it doesn't want to do it. All right, this is Secret being very respectful, very deliberate about their movements. Like that tier 3 is on 300 HP. Wouldn't take much to kill it off.
Yeah. Maybe something they could do is on Secret side is X mark siege. Like you just X your Lash, send him up, and then X mark him back. That is you. I think the reason why they're scared to do it is because of the Tornado and the Yules on Tiny.
Yeah.
Both of these can just, if you catch them at the end of the X, then yeah, it leaves you stranded. I'm just trying to think of all the ways that they could maybe poke, because there's obviously like, you go up, as long as you kind of keep making sure you're turning around a bit, you can always force off them out. I think they're just scared of any situation where someone gets tossed back into the base, or someone dies or gets blown up, and oh boy, this seems
Supreme blinks away. Ari, the next target of choice, gets his avalanche before being hexed. Otaka jumps in, but the stuns are landing. The Slark, down to half health, gets off his Shadow Dance and pounces out. BKB still on cooldown for him, and Supreme, 20 HP, gets back to high ground. But Team Secret, another decisive move, forcing ITB to stay in their base as the Sunstrike off the mark again. Zayats will TP home and survive. I think he even bought a Fairy Fire in the fountain there just to make sure.
yeah. Don't leave up to chance.
Secret probably thinking here, just wait for next Roshan, get that Aegis in our hands, then we are much more comfortable securing our victory here.
Yeah. They're not sweating with how they approach this, honestly. They're just going to keep trying to punish ITB every time they leave their base.
Slark, another pounce, ready in a second, Puppey. Not landing his stun. It's like a severe lack of vision from both teams on this map. Usually we see 20 sentries, 5 observer wards all over the place. Against the Slug and against the Gem, there's lots of ways for both teams to remove a lot of this vision. Zayat's going to come back in and replace it. Prepare for the potential Roshan in 10 seconds.
I think they've sweeped on Secret from top to bot, and they know that there's no vision now on ITB. So this is why they're placing these wards now. It just means that they have the ability to always see where they're coming from, or going to, sorry, I should say, and have that ability to smoke to it. They are split right now, so this could be a perfect opportunity for Into the Breach.
Yeah. I mean, Puppy has his Aghanim Scepter. We have the cart of Centaur. How is he going to get farm? He's got 16,000 net worth on this Centaur now. Oh, no. I mean, imagine he puts the Lash in the cart and just roams around with all that magic damage being pumped out. TPing bottom now. Nisha with Rezo. Pouncing on Ari's Tiny. He does have buyback. Not sure.
What are you even carting?
The Lash, right?
Yeah, but I mean, usually you cart because the idea is it's used as a save. But Into the Breach don't have any chain lockdown to threaten you that you would need to use the cart.
We're just having a bit of fun, isn't he, Puppy?
Yeah, a little bit of a giggle.
What should I spend my money on? Oh, yeah, let's get cart, Ether Lens, Octarine, yeah.
I know a little bit about it because obviously I think everyone and their mother like messed around with it when it first came out. And if you do like a max range blink, it breaks the cart. Like if you were to hitch a ride with Lesh and then blink in, you can only do a small jump.
Okay.
Also, poor Keto is gonna die.
Poor little maiden.
They can
lose that
push
tier
high
3
ground
mid
now,
as well. Yeah.
I think. Yeah.
And Radiant does have a glyph. 20 seconds for Roche. Something Secret are going to have in the back of their minds. But there it is. The soft seed from Nisha. Just X mark. Go up. Get a couple of hits in. EMP is going to be irritating as well. But now that's on cooldown. They can return to the high ground. And ITB down a hero. Trying to fight 4v5 here. Seems like a losing battle no matter where you look at it.
Yeah, we look at the buybacks in this game.
The jump from Rezo. He's poking at them. And then X mark drag back.
Yeah.
Quite disciplined from Secret here.
Yeah, everyone. A lot of people have buybacks, Gary. So this fight could be, there is ways to throw if they commit all their buybacks on ITB after you've used your BKB and they start to hunt you down. Oh, they found Supreme? No.
Oh, yeah. I mean, the Ghost Walk tagged onto Chrysalis, so they know he's nearby. Trying to get Zayats here with the gem. They're going to catch a glimpse of him in a second. Zayats, he guesses incorrectly, goes left instead of right. Nearly had Supreme here. He's going to show on that top wave now. Blinking into the trees, split earth. Oh, that was close.
Ooh.
There's still
Very
room for
close.
Secret. DD Rune is up at top. Roshan is alive. And what's he holding? Refresher shard.
Oh, Roshan. It's like, who are we talking about?
The big boy.
He doesn't hold things. He only hits people.
Doing the punches. ITB, this is going to be one of their last ditch efforts, though. It looks like they want to go up to that high ground to the right-hand side of Roshan. Sunstrike will scout it. Radiant kills it, in fact. So that means Chrysalis snatches the Aegis. Nice little bit of bonus there for the Invoker. While Rezo, he just goes straight on in. Shivers guards, try to give a bit of vision. Catch onto Ari, and he refreshes up as well. Rezo with another stun follow through, finds the tiny wall down in the river. Zippe focused by the DD from Chrysalis. Pickoffs here from Secret, allowing them to chase forward. Another refresh up as Chrysalis just jumps onto the Maiden, nullifies, and should be able to swipe down with another Primal Spring. Catches out the Maiden for a double kill. And there's no buyback on the Veno. Otaka. Shadow Dance, Pounce. He does have a TP with his Trickster's Cloak. Not working against the gem. Zayat, he's got Reveal, but he doesn't have the move speed to keep up with the Slark. While back in the mid lane, Supreme has been forced to BKB against this Monkey and Kunkka. Aegis, not going to be claimed. Good attempt from the Supreme Invoker, and the Sunstrike, another bit of chip damage. A Secret focusing on objectives. The Ghost Ship fleet flying across the Kunkka. Look to finish off this barracks. Oh, you're right. Yeah, you're right.
Hard defense.
Down to bottom they go. Melee racks in the mid lane, 20 health, just one hit away from dying. They let the creeps do the job there. Get 2 lanes for themselves, Secret here. As Nisha refreshes himself. There's refreshers galore. Like, Lesh has an orb, right, refresher orb. Monkey has refresher orb, and then we have the refresher shard and Kunkka. They've just got so many BKBs and spells. They're ready to go in for like round 7 of fighting up in his high ground base. Everyone alive now from ITB. But with the Wukong's down, it's just impossible to initiate.
Don't have refreshers, so no more Wukongs now.
That is true. I keep one lane alive. Overwhelming blink. And the X mark back. Team Secret do still have that Aegis on the Monkey King.
Yeah, they can wait for Wukongs to come up again and just do the same thing. Now that you have the additional ring, like this is what's keeping Tiny away from you. Ari wants to walk in and toss someone back. That's pretty much the only real play that they have to try and combat this high ground. And when all these rings come out, I don't even know if the blink range is long enough for you to get in there unless you come from the side.
Man, it's hard. Did we see the cart in that last team fight? I want to say no.
I didn't watch copy.
Oh, they jumped Rezo here, but that's not the target you can really burst down and kill off. They're giving it a good old try, but Rezo turns with his BKB. Edict going. Otaka jumps away as Tiny is the one to die, but in comes Nisha, aiming for Zibe. Poisono is in on the Kunkka. Doesn't seem to bother Secret too much, though. 3 lanes converging towards the Radiant base. As Slark has spotted a DD rune top, maybe the edge he needs to actually stick it in one of these team fights. Going for a refresher of himself, so he's got multiple BKBs, but still requires a bit more money for buyback. 400 gold for it.
At 63k net worth lead, it's not looking hot for ITB. All they can really do is crazy smokes like this with creeps in their base, giving Secret all the knowledge that they need to know that they are definitely coming for them right now. They can just get back together. This should be looking like a final fight.
Yeah, something's not quite right with no one in the base. Puppy tossed around. The travel's going to get cancelled out because of it, so they won't have that Lesh coming in. Tusk getting the punch in onto the Invoker, and the boat's crashing on top of them. It's a good freezing field BKB from Kadaro inside this Wukong's command, though, and they are getting through Chrysalis HP pool. Aegis down, Rezo focus, Otaka with his DD rune, he's getting the job done. Kills off a couple, but now the return from Chrysalis and Nisha pouncing in towards the Slark as they also kill the Veno and the rest in that middle lane. Finding out the Tiny, the tossback's not going to help him. Puppy and Nisha surround the Tiny, but he blinks away. Gets out with his ninja gear. That's Otaka's Slark. He wants to continue fighting, but they've lost everybody now.
Can the hunt keep going from ITB? I mean, 2 dead, including Lesh. So now or never.
Supreme. Oh, Nisha knows he's there. Ghost Walk tagged him.
That DD damage, though. I mean, my god, he shredded Puppy, he shredded Chrysalis, and then he shredded Rezo. That was terrifying. I mean, the presence of mind to go for that power rune on Otaker and using that high ground ward on that cliff to see it out, and then instantly smoke up. I mean, yeah, okay.
Oh, man.
Secret saw it coming. Sure, there's creeps in the base. There's no one there. They have to be running at us, right? But they were so spread out. They just didn't quite have everyone in position to sort of disengage from it. And Otaker with this refresher, actually, honestly, not bad. Getting the double Shadow Dance, the double BKB Depth Shroud, it let him live long enough in that fight. I mean, he didn't even die, but it let him just keep going at Leshrank, like the biggest issue for him. I think this refresher was a pretty banging pickup.
I mean, our observer there, he's opened up the chat, he's looked at the kill feed. 1,674 gold from that Rezo kill to Kadaro, and 2,200 spread across 3 heroes. That was a massive kill. You know, he's a 50k worth Leshrank, but the catch on the Slark in the mid, they've got the chain stuns. He does have buyback, but that's a huge kill for Secret. Beautifully executed.
They're gonna wanna, they need to force that buyback, pretty much, is what they'll do now. Push this high ground, get the buyback, reset. We have 2 minutes until Roche may spawn.
Yeah, and I don't think ITB can contend with Megacreeps. They don't have the best ways of clearing out waves. If they lose this lane of barracks, it's lights out. Zibe, Ari smoked up, moving around, but the Wukong's command is down on the ground from Crystalis. There's a nice zone of control there as Rezo just going to get his BKB out. The pouncing from Altica inside the Wukongs. Has his Shadow Dance up and is chasing in towards Puppey. Can't latch onto a target, and they've got Nisha in the cart. He's being dragged around and saved up by the Centaur. Now Rezo with the refresh back in towards them. Katara's Freezing Field going to do a decent amount here and kill off Crystalis. Rezo, he's dying to that Freezing Field. The Crystal Maiden doing so much damage. Controlling up Secret as they try to push high ground, and the catch onto Zayas in the top corner there. Supreme finds another kill. ITB, they lose their racks. They kind of hold their base with a great team fight, but Secret, they committed. They got the buildings.
They used buyback on Crystalis. That is probably the biggest thing that came out of that defense. Like, right now, obviously Rezo is this big endgame boss for them to deal with, but I think they've shown now with the refresher they have enough damage and gusto to kind of kill him. I mean, Kidara's doing so much damage with that freezing field as well. Now he's got his BKB and he's going for a refresher as well. I mean, all that money he got from that Rezo kill paying off, isn't it?
He did the most damage in that fight, 6,500 compared to the Invokers like 5.5. Slark did 2.8.
Yeah, it's really, really powerful.
It's a 10k net worth swing as well. Another 7,000 gold going to ITB. I do think that they can defend the Megacreeps just with like Veno like walling up the base with this Plague Wards and all this stuff. Also, by the way, he has latent toxicity, but I don't think I've ever fully noticed it in these fights. I'm sure it's happening, but I'm like not realizing that the stuns are coming from him. There's so much going on, right? There's Wukong statues, there's Plague Wards, tornadoes.
They're getting the fights that they want just from Slark being able to go in. I think the biggest thing, even though he's not doing the most damage, the biggest thing he is doing is putting himself in there and going on people with an Abyssal Blade, like locking people down. Like, I've been stressing how little lockdown ITB have, so when they do have this double Abyssal Blade, basically, it's pretty good and gives Kidara that space to get a really good freezing field off, because they don't have a basher on the Monkey King or anything like that. Like, there's no way for them to cancel a freezing field other than just straight up trying to kill him. But he gets a lot of armor from that freezing field too. But yeah, Secret are in a really good spot. ITB can potentially get that game win if they're able to find and kill Crystalis. That's their biggest kill they can get.
It is right now. And yeah, just looking at these tier 5 neutral items coming out, we saw Puppey has the Book of the Dead, and that's going to be incredibly irritating for ITB when they're against Megacreeps and Book of the Dead, with already the wave push that Secret have shown that they have.
Wait, when did it hit 64 minutes? What the hell?
We are deep in late game territory now, Sheepo. I mean, this is why you're absolutely right. The key points here are buybacks, and Crystalis, you know, dying there, buying back. That is absolutely one of the pivotal scenarios for ITB to find a way back into this game. But Secret, they're going to smoke, keep them under the cosh, make sure that they're pressuring back into this base, not giving opportunities for ITB to smoke out and find kills. And Roshan's back up in 30 seconds. The fourth one this game, fifth one. I've lost track at this point. And Monkey King pouncing in. Resolution. He's out of there. Looked like Ari might be jumping onto the Lesh. Instead, they're clearing out waves and struggling to do so.
It's so scary, Gary. That usually when it gets to this late in the game, or when you know teams can chain stun you, you buy an Eon Disc. But they don't have any on ITV, so if they do get caught out, I think that's why Rezo is so good at, or feels so confident to jump. Oh.
I mean, what else we got? Seer Stone on Supreme, Ex Machina on the Slark.
That's huge. Triple Abyssal Blade.
Triple BKB.
Triple BKB, yeah. Jesus. That's so scary.
ITB. They're pivoting into the pit. Tiny gets a bit of a catch on Zayats, and here's Kadara with a freezing field inside the Wukong's command. There's a lot going on inside these circles, but Ari and Kadara will drop quickly. No buyback on the Tiny, and they found Supreme, even under the Depth Shroud, doing a lot of AoE damage into him, but he's going to get away. 4 staffs back to safety outside of the Wukongs. Rezo and Nisha trying to close the gap onto Otake here. Throw the Nullifier at him, but Secret, they hold their ground. They know that this Wukong's is impenetrable, and ITB, they don't get their hands on anything. Secret still have an Aghanims and a cheese inside the pit to be grabbed up by Zayat.
Oh, Crystalis Oh my god. I know he has ages, but he played that so close. Holy moly.
Oh dear, still have a lot of dots on him.
Jesus, this game going so hard. I watched Slark pretty much that entire fight, and he just never ever committed, not a single time. He literally never jumped in, like not as a flame, but as a they clearly felt like they wanted to do this thing where they bait out stuff. They got 2 Wukongs out of them, right? They got their refreshers, they got their BKBs. I think they were hoping to kind of just force this sort of chase out, get out, and then be able to re-engage and just kind of find the right timing when they've used their big spells, the big things. I think. Like, for Oteka, the most important thing is these Wukongs, just BKBs.
Like, where they were there, right? When they had 3-4 heroes still alive, waiting by the little high ground up in that Ancients area, if they were able to continue the fight after that additional Wukongs, we saw how low Secret were dropping. There is the potential for ITB to go back in round 4. The bell rings. He's still got these swings out, but Secret find the jump in onto Zippe. Wukongs is out again as Otaka kind of trapped inside the circles. They've got Supreme locked in place. His BKB is worthless against the physical damage that Secret are bringing. Kidara with his freezing field, but focused down by Crystallis, or is it the other way around? Crystallis half HP, but they do get the takedowns on the Veno and the Invoker. No buyback on Maiden either. Crystallis snowballed back into the Slark. They've chained disabled him. The Torrent's there. Otaka about to die. He's gone for 2 minutes. And Team Secret looks like they've got the W. ITB running out of options now. A Secret buyback on multiple heroes to TP into this Radiant base and close out Game 3 here. The tier 4s are falling, and Puppy, another great jump in, lets the Split Earth land from Rezo. Zayas will land the punch. Everybody dead on ITB, and the road ends for them. Secret will move forward.
Oh, what a big explosive fight to end things. It was so rough for ITB in that sort of setup with the Wukong's command out. He turned to Crystallis as Slark and just could not do any of that damage into all that armor. I mean, Secret just had overwhelming amounts of items and ways to deal with these heroes. We saw even Zayats on his Tusk using that axe to just kick Otaka away from him. Like, do not come near me, Slack. I do not want you to hit me. And wasting that BKB time. The Nullifier as well, super impactful on Secret. Just meant that these 4-stars couldn't push Otaka to safety when he got hexed, when he got stunned.
Man, that mixture of, joy and relief for Team Secret, right? Not just for the players, but the fans as well. They've now guaranteed last chance qualifier, still with a chance to go towards grand final for a guaranteed slot at TI. And, a bit of sadness for Into the Breach, but honestly, their journey has been one of greatness. They've shown that they can go toe-to-toe with the best of the best.
Yeah, I mean, back when they were chicken fighters, they were still owning as a team, and they've only gotten better since then. I'm really glad that Into the Breach picked these guys up and are like giving them a chance to shine. It's super hype. I think they've been playing amazingly all qualifier. Yeah, it ends here, but like you said, massive shouts to them.
Yeah.
I think they've been showing like innovation in their drafts, a really cool style of gameplay. The way that they've made these heroes work and shine has been super fun to watch. I'm